no one at England knew that was happening that day.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
You weren't at the birth of women's football because that was in the late 1800s,
Yes.
but you were at the rebirth of women's football. And that's chronicled in your book. And it was quite a pretty... It's quite shocking to read how sort of backward it was, even in the mid-90s, early noughties. You know, you having to work in the laundry room at Arsenal as a part-time professional footballer, you know, a bit more than a decade ago. And then you go to Birmingham, because Birmingham, they meant business.
Yeah.
One particular guy at Birmingham.
Yeah, Steve Shipway, I think Karen Brady at the time as well, they put some money into the team and was like, okay, we've got some investment. But it only lasted a season.
Yeah.
And then all that money was taken away. And that's what I mean. And people I uprooted to Birmingham. And then all of a sudden, you haven't got a team.
Yeah,
and then I come back to Arsenal. Vic was like, well, this is your home, come back.
Yeah.
And by then, I'd already broken into the England team. Yeah. So I was then an established right back in England international. So it was different.
Tell us about that. It's all in the book, but tell us about you getting the call from the England camp.
Oh, gosh, yeah. It was at a time as well where my uncle had just passed. But then football's always been my escape. So then I got a call up from Hope Powell saying that I'd been called off standby just to fill in for someone. So there was me. I didn't even think I'd be playing, just like filling up the numbers when someone was injured. But then it was the same day as my uncle's funeral. So I was like, no, I can't go. But it was my mum that was like, no, your Uncle Mickey was a huge Newcastle fan. He loves you playing football and he's going to be there with you. So my first ever game against Netherlands was the day of my uncle's funeral, and that one was for him.
And you were already coming with excuses to tell Hope and the England management team that you couldn't play. You're not going to believe this, but my uncle's passed away. And your mum said, no, he would have not heard anything to do that. And the best way you can respect him and sort of...
is to go and play.
Yeah,
and the thing is, that's like a lot of the stuff in the book. I actually don't talk about things or ever want people to feel sorry for me. So no one at England knew that was happening that day.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.